Jeff was in here and Ray was in here, and he talks about kind of Rick's eye for talent. What do you look for when you are trying to get guys for a Cup team, when you're trying to get engineers, pit crew guys, crew chiefs? I know you got Brian Campy, who I've always been a big fan of. So, like, what are some of the things that you look for a guy that can come in and make a spark on your team?
This is one of those areas I wish I would have paid more attention when I was at Hendrick. I've always been a relational guy, and I think this part is really important. And now that we're more structurally sound, our onboarding process, our recruiting process, trying to find the right people that fit into our puzzle is something I've not had transparency to in the past. But once I've been on a team, I've always felt like, and I'll use college football as an example, when you watch that college team run out of the tunnel, like that connectivity, that vibe, that locker room, I've always aspired to kind of create that where I've worked and what I've been a part of. And so, I'm not as involved on recruiting and how people fit into these pieces for our puzzle, but building the locker room, building culture, leading by example, that's the area that I feel I can move the needle the most and I'm focused on.
I got a question as a picker guy. I've always wanted to know this. Sorry if I get in trouble from Chad. When you came down pit road and the 24 car had gotten swapped mid-race onto your car, did you know anything about that, or did you just see them jump out in front of you? What year? I don't even remember what year it was, but I remember it was big
2010.
news.
We were racing Denny, trying to win the 5th, and I guess Shaky was probably doing driver service. I've always been handed an ice bag or a Cliff Bar or something, and a sticky note comes in, and I was like.
A note.
A sticky note. So I tuck it under my leg. Jack drops. Go down pit lane. Pull the sticky note out. He's like, said something. Do you want the 24 team? There's something along the lines of the 24 team. And I was like, I get on the radio. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's going on. Like, whatever you need to do. Come down pit lane. The next pit stop. It's like, all right, you're 5 out. Look for the 24 suits. And I was like, son of a bitch, he did it. And I pulled in, and it's all the 24 guys jumping off the wall.
Was that awkward for you afterwards? Or
There certainly were layers, but our coaching staff, the concept was widely talked about, at the executive level and coaching staff and crew chiefs. And that's where Chad had the confidence to make the call. And sure, there were unintended consequences and feelings hurt and stuff, but we ended up with the championship that year, and that was what Rick and management was trying to build, where we had depth and where we could lean on teammates and truly be one team at least 6 days a week and sometimes 7 days a week.
And I also lights the fire a little bit of accountability too, like, hey, boys, anytime you can, if there's somebody up that's better, if we got our thoroughbred over here trying to win the championship, we're putting our best guys on that car.
When I've talked about it at length.
That is brutal truth.
I pitted the 12 the last decade, and I had a conversation with a young kid last week, and he was kind of explaining pit stops to me. I said, no, you don't understand. And we used to talk about this a lot with the 48. I said, when you're on whatever car you're on that's running mid-pack, people only see the good you do, because if you make a mistake, it gets buried. When you're on the 12 or like the 48, every time you pitted, you were on the top 5. You were in one of the little boxes on TV, and people only see the bad that's done.
Yep.
And then when it gets that way, it just gets snowballed in the media.
Now you have
and
their
everything.
last name on the back of their suits so that they can get hazed
That's
on
right.
social media when it happens.
Oh, I still get it. I'm like, I'm not there anymore. Stop tweeting me.
It's tough. I've always felt so bad for you guys. The race goes on, however many stops, week after week, on and on and on. Stuff happens, right? And then there's whatever happens, and spotlight is just so hard on that individual.
We all signed up for it.
Fair.
Everybody
That's it.
picks
Nobody's
their own
swishing
deal.
your arm to walk in the garage every week, I guess.
Yep.
So we had a lot of fun talking with Jeff about when he drove. Was it Juan Pablo's car?
Oh, the Formula One car, yeah.
Yeah.
Chunked it right off into the grass the first lap.
Yeah.
He was in full send mode. I was proud of him.
Yeah.
Well, he said he wasn't, and that's what he said.
It didn't turn, or it went right off.
Like he
no
babied
way.
it in the corner, didn't have enough downforce, and he drove right off into the grass.
Downforce, yeah.
So you did a ride swap. Where was the track you did?
Bahrain.
Bahrain. Okay,
Yeah.
so you did with a Fernando Alonso.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Incredible opportunity. I met Fernando at the NASCAR preseason media day. He was on his way to Daytona for the 24 hours, and he's like, man, we got to switch cars. I'm like, great. And so knowing Zach from his time here and the conversation started, Jeff Gordon actually helped. He was down at the Rolex that year and kind of put the bug in Zach's ear. And man, we got the thing put together, and what an incredible opportunity.
What, like, that's a 2-year or a 2-cycle old car you're allowed to test?
I think it had to be 5-year. So that was 2018. I was in a 2013.
Here it is, Lonzo spinning out.
It was one of the exhaust blown diffusers on that car.
Yeah.
And had, I think, V10 in it or V8 or something. So big loud engine, made a ton of noise, was great. Had to learn how to keep my foot matted through a couple of fast turns to keep the diffuser charged up and keep the thing planted,
Really?
which was a great argument with my right foot.
The old pinky gets a little light.
It starts quivering, but it was incredible, man. My neck by the end of the day, I had no idea how bad my neck was going to hurt.
You were
Just
smoked.
smoked.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Smoked.
What about braking? Everybody says the braking capability of F1 cars is unbelievable.
Front straightaway, it's as long as Watkins Glen, into the bus stop, if not longer. I go out to warm up the Cup car. The braking mark started at 300.
Yeah.
So I come in. I was like, "Hey, Fernando, like, you'll see the 300. If you can imagine where 600 is,
Double it.
that's got to be the starting break point." He's like, "No chance." I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you,
Yeah, bro.
Like, seriously."
You don't stop.
It's like, bullshit. No way. So where's it going to be for the Formula One car then? And he goes, the 75, maybe the 50. I'm like, 150 was it? No. Inside the one. You're kidding me. So when I finally had my chance to get in the Formula One car at the 3, I'm like, I'm just gonna be smart here. Dude, I had to accelerate in first gear to drive up to the apex. It stopped so fast.
Did you work up to it?
Yeah, I got there. I was able to match his times at the end, and it was awesome. And then that went well enough that Zach, and this is right when Liberty was taking things over, and so Zach's like, "Man, let's get you in a proper car. Go talk to the FIA, take it to Silverstone, and let's see how it goes." And then that's when I learned about a super license and that a NASCAR driver and NASCAR not being affiliated to the FIA,
No super points for you.
dead in the water.
So you couldn't even test a Formula One car.
No, I think you need a
current.
certain amount of super point license or points towards a super license. But even like Herta, it's Herta right now.
Yeah.
Like I know that he's getting some exposure and time, but I think he still was a couple points short to even get the F1 license. Like they want you to come through their system.
Yeah.